I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter for 20 years up in Fort Collins,
Okay.
and um, bunch of Christmases ago, maybe in like 2011 or something, my wife made a helmet for me. And so I started wearing that to all the games, and we are like, we need to get a fire truck, a small one, that would fit in one spot. And we didn't really put much into it. We didn't look into it too much, but we were on family vacation up in South Dakota. And we found one on the side of the road with a for sale sign. So we test drove it home in like 100-degree weather. I stopped at every gas station on the way back because it gets like 4 miles to the gallon.
Wow.
And we brought it home and we turned it into Broncos Country Engine 7.
Wow.
Did you do all the
Very good.
restoration yourself and stuff?
I did some of it, but I've got another firefighter friend of mine who owns a graphics company, and he wrapped it all for me for basically cost, which was a big help because people wanted a lot of money to paint it.
Is that your man or your fan cave that we see behind you, all your Broncos stuff?
Yeah, I'm in my basement and I've got a bunch of my collectibles right here. Autographs from the Hall of Fame and pictures of me with Champ Bailey and stuff like that from when I was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame a few years ago.
Wow. Congratulations for that. That's really cool. I mean, a
Thank
fire
you.
helmet has got to be the coolest thing ever to to make and to have as fan wear. It's got to be the coolest thing you can possibly wear. But I
It's
mean,
pretty
and but
awesome.
you're doing it for real anyway. So I mean, that's a lot of respect for that. Really, I mean, dangerous job, saving
Yeah,
lives.
it's the best job in the world though. I
Yeah,
wouldn't I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love it and people always thank me for my service, but I gotta say it is the best job in the world. And to me, firefighters and military or sorry, police and military, those are the ones that really need thanked because they do a lot of the same stuff and they don't kind of get the same praise firefighters do. So I really appreciate them more.
Tell us a little bit about, well, basically about your fandom in general. I'm assuming you're from the area, and then also just like the whole PFUFA thing, because actually not very clear on it and what it is. Of course, I've heard of it.
Sure. So I've been a Broncos fan my entire life. I was born into it. I've lived in Colorado since I was born. My grandma, my dad were big Broncos fans, and so obviously I was too. And it also helped that the Broncos made the Super Bowl 3 times when I was like 8, 9, and 11. Like those years where you're just totally into stuff. They didn't win any of them, but
No.
they were in the Super Bowl. So I was a Broncos fan my entire life. In high school, they won their first two Super Bowls. And so my mom put me on the season ticket list when I was in high school.
Wow.
And I didn't get them until I was 30 years old.
wow.
So when I was 30, my wife and I got season tickets to the Broncos. She made my helmet. We started going to every single game. And I met some people from the PFUFA, which is the Pro Football Ultimate Fan Association. Um, just became friendly with them. They liked what I was doing, because I was a fan my entire life. Also, I'm a firefighter. I did a bunch of charity work. And so they invited me to be a part of the PFUFA. And in 2016, I was inducted into it. And what the PFUFA is it's a group of fans from all over the country and actually all over the world now
Mhm.
that basically love the game of football and they are kind to one another and then they do good things in their community as well. And so that's what we're
Good.
about. And
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome
Good.
because now I can go, like, I've been to some places that some people might think are like a little scary, like, the back in Oakland when the Raiders were there.
Ah.
You don't, some people don't want to walk into that situation, but I went in there with some of the PFUFA people and just was treated like family, hung out the whole time, was treated really, really well. And so we do the same thing at our stadium. We host a tailgate and we let the opposing fans come in, give them a safe, fun place to hang out and try to show them a good time.
That's good. That's good because it's always like a bit unnerving. You know, if you're going to an away game, you never know what kind of reception you're going to get, especially if you're dressed like this. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I am going to the game, so I'll try to pop by and see what you
Yeah,
guys are
no.
doing. Is it like a donation kind?
Yeah, so our tailgate is a charity tailgate. It's called the Fired Up Tailgate. And what we do is we get our food and our drink donated, and then people come in, they give us money, and we give all that money away to local charities.
good.
Since we started doing it together, we've raised, I don't have exact numbers, but well over $120,000 for local
Really good.
charities.
What does the PFUFA have to do with the Hall of Fame then? I know there's a connection.
Yeah, so every August there's a reunion at the Hall of Fame weekend, basically. And the Hall of Fame is kind of partnered with the PFUFA as far as fan groups go. We do some of our events there. We do, like the starting events for the Hall of Fame. And so they're just kind of a partner with us now. And so um, it's not like it's not like if you're inducted into the PFUFA, you're in the Hall of Fame. It's nothing like that, but it's a partnership that they work together.
Hmm. Cool.
It's good to be, to have that reunion there because the Hall of Fame is such a draw anyway, for fans. And I haven't actually been myself. I can't wait. I want to get there.
Yeah, it would be good for us to go there.
Hmm.
We've always wanted to go there. So yeah, we should do that.
What's your charity that you give a lot of the things to? Do you have like one in general that you give to, or is it lots of different charities?
We have a bunch of different ones. We do the Ronald McDonald House. We do Hope Kids Colorado. We do the Children's Diabetes Foundation. And then this year, we did kind of a special fundraiser for Children's Hospital. And actually, my best friend since childhood, um, they're like family to me. And his daughter was diagnosed with cancer last year. And
Oh,
so she did a great job. I mean, she just kicked it in the butt. But one thing that they did was they had this red light therapy, which basically helps keep the mouth sores from chemotherapy, helps keep it to a minimum, which then allows your body to fight harder and stronger, don't have to fight off the infection in your mouth. And so the chemotherapy works much better and can go a lot quicker. And so she went through her chemotherapy about 6 weeks faster than normal because
Wow.
of this red light therapy.
That's
And so her family decided that they wanted to purchase these red light wands for the hospital. And they committed $100,000 to it. And so they got a bunch of that donated, but they needed us to help kind of finish it off. And our tailgate, Fired Up Tailgate, and Bronco Babe, and Bronco Ken, and the Mile High Profit, we put a big tailgate together, and we raised the last $14,000 for them this year. So that was a big thing we did this year.
that's really
wow.
good. And that would really help because I know from personal experience that I mean I went through chemotherapy some years ago and because of the chemotherapy, I mean, I still haven't got any taste or smell, because it destroyed my mouth, completely destroyed it. So that's really good then if that's kind of combating that after effect. That would be really good. That will
Yeah, it
help a
is.
lot of people.
It's pretty awesome. And so now the Children's Hospital in Denver has a whole program. So any kids that go there now are able to get that red light therapy, which is great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Have you ever been to one of the international games?
I have not. We wanted to go this year, but we just weren't able to make it happen. So I haven't been over there. My family and I have been to a Real Madrid game though. So we have been to the stadium over in Madrid, but it was for a football, a
Football.
soccer match, not an American football match. So
There's plenty of opportunity to see more international games now because that's very much a thing now, isn't it? I mean, as the years go on, there are more and more international games. And I think it'll ultimately end up where every single team ends up going somewhere that's out, not in mainland USA. I think it'll be all over the place. You know, they were talking, well, isn't there one in Australia next year?
There
And
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, they're
lots of
really
Melbourne.
pushing it. They want the
yeah.
NFL to be a not National Football League. They want it to be a World Football League. I
Well, it's
mean,
about this, isn't it? I mean, that's the way that they can expand. If you think about the fan base, you know, that it's a worldwide fan base, and fans want to spend their money on football merch. So, I mean, you know, the NFL can, you know, that's the only way I think that they can make serious, more kind of more money.
yeah, exactly.
Well, we hear it from Jacksonville fans all the time. They're all like, "Oh, we don't want, it kind of sucks to lose a home game every year, la la." But now they've added another game, and that's pretty much the reason why they added that 17th was because then each team can have 8 home games still, even if they play overseas. And Goodell said that he'd like to have, one game a year for each team
Yeah,
overseas. So I don't know if that'll happen because that's an awful lot, but it could. I mean, as it is
it
right
will.
now, there's 12 teams that do it every
Yeah,
year.
that's right. I think it'll happen.
Yeah,
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 yeah, they're moving that way for sure.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Should be,
Well, you
should
must be really excited. You must be really excited for the team that you have this year, and indeed last year. I mean, there were improvements last year, and you could see the improvements they were making for, you know, ready, and it's just ongoing, isn't it? I mean, you must be so pleased to have finally, you know, another really good quarterback that seems to be doing it for your team. You know, in terms of Bo.
Yeah, Bo's been great. We're excited for him. It's funny because my entire life, like the Broncos have been pretty good. They went to 8 Super Bowls in my life. They've won
Oh
three of
yeah,
them.
absolutely.
And so the last 10 years has been difficult. And
Yeah.
especially when I've got a 14-year-old son, he they won the Super Bowl when he was 4. So he doesn't
oh yeah,
really
he can't
remember
remember
it.
that. No.
So he remembers the kind of the last 10 years where it was like,
Yeah. Just one quarterback after the other, wasn't it? You know, just
yeah,
trying. Do you find though that, I mean, my personal opinion, and that's all it is, I suppose, is that they didn't, you know, they just didn't seem to give people a chance. I mean, there was just seemed to be just give them, say, a very limited amount of time. It's like Drew Lock. I mean, I think he was potentially a good quarterback, but I do honestly think that if they'd have given him more time to settle in and everything, then maybe it'll be different than how it all turned out. But as I say, that's just me. That's just,
I,
uh,
yeah,
you
I
know,
think you're right. I think that's kind of a problem with the league in general right now is if they get a young quarterback, they want to win right away.
yeah,
There's no more developing quarterbacks. Like there's no more giving them 2 or 3 years to be good. If they don't start winning pretty immediately, then
then
they're gonna go a
But you
different
know
way.
what? Now they start going winning for another team, i.e., Sam Darnold. I think maybe fans like you, your son, and all that. I mean, you do have to do your time. You have to do your time with a losing team before you can really appreciate the wins, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and as far as developing the quarterbacks, like what Simon said, I think that's true, and I think it's true with the whole league, but Denver in particular, I think ever since Elway, you have to just be Elway right since day one. If you're not
Right.
Elway day one, forget it.
Yeah.
And even Peyton, when he came, it was like the press was all like, ooh. And, he did perform pretty well, but he was still fighting that injury, right? So it took a while to ramp up. And I just think, I mean, I always think about Terry Bradshaw in the old days and how long it took him to warm up. I mean, he
yeah.
had dismal, horrible seasons
They
before.
gave him a chance, though, didn't they? Yeah,
Right,
they stood
right.
by, and look how that turned out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 Super Bowls, I think it was. So,
Well,
those
yeah.
were the glory days back then of
I'm
football.
really nervous about the game. I think that as a Jaguars fan, I mean, Jaguars really need this win, but it's going to be a really tough game. So I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I think that Trevor will give a good account of himself against Bo Nix. So we'll just have to see how it goes, really. But
Problem
it,
is Trevor doesn't go against Bo Nix. He's got to go against that defense, and that
yeah,
defense is tough. He's I
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence is doing great, but he's not throwing five touchdowns this week like he did last week.
yeah.
That's for
No,
sure.
you're right. Not with PS2. No.
That was a heck of a game he had last week, though.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah. I mean, everybody was like, I knew he could do this, but I mean, that Broncos pass rush, it's tough. I mean, he does really well when he does get time, but yeah, it's going to be, I just hope for a close game.
Every game has been very, very close, so I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a good game.
How do you feel about that? I mean, there's a lot of people in the league, they're like, oh yeah, right. They really should be 7 wins or something. I mean, like, what's your personal thought? Do you just think a win is a win, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, a win is a win. I think it's kind of crazy when they're like, oh, they barely beat this team and they barely beat this team. Yeah, but we also almost are undefeated. We barely lost to the Colts and
Yeah.
we barely lost to the Chargers. Like we could be 14-0 right now,
Wow.
um, which is crazy. So the thing is in the National Football League, any team can win on any given day, and you
Yeah.
see that because they've got a circle where one team has beat this team and this team's beat this team, and it goes all the way around the league, right? Um, it's hard to go undefeated, and it's hard to win those close games. Like last year, the Chiefs won all those close games and they
They
made it to
did.
the Super Bowl. But you didn't hear like, oh, they barely beat those teams, right? This year, the Broncos are doing the same thing, and everybody's just kind of hating on them, which is fine. Let them be the underdogs,
Well,
and
the Broncos and the Jags have a few things in common, but one thing they have in common, neither team gets any respect or is liked by the national media or really anybody else. I mean,
yeah,
you remember being a Bronco fan, like all the commentating. I remember Howard Cosell back in the day, he hated them. And Phil Simms was always horrible as a commentator. He hated the Broncos and like the Jags, everybody makes fun of the Jags. I mean,
Well,
it's
they
like,
just
oh,
don't
we're
mention
only
them.
playing the
They're not.
Jags,
Yeah, they're not on anybody's radar. So I
no.
think that's, you know, I think the Jaguars could surprise everybody. So, and I'm hopeful that they do. So, because I think the Jags need the win more than the Broncos need the win.
it's
So
close.
how
You
does it
guys are
affect
fighting for
the
your
playoff
division.
situation if the Broncos lose? I know it's difficult to
Well,
say because
I mean, aren't the Broncos? I mean, and it really depends upon the Chargers, but I think they pretty much have a lock on the division, and unless the Chargers win out and the Broncos lose a couple, and of course the last game is against the Chargers, but it's really they're playing for the bye.
Yeah, we are basically fighting for that number one seed right now.
Right.
It could come down where the Chargers overtake us, but I think we have a 2-game lead with 3 to play. So,
Hmm.
it could go that way, but I think we're really just fighting for that number one seed, would be helpful.
Well, driving around this week, I've been listening to like the talk radio, the sports talk, especially 104.3 The Fan. And it's funny because they never talk about the Jaguars ever, but this week, of course, they are. And a lot of the guys are saying they've got the opinion that they actually are hoping the Broncos lose this one because they're like no team can win 17 in a row in the NFL these days. So they need to lose one, and this one means the least of all the ones coming out up, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't feel that way. I mean, do you feel that way? Do you think that they should lose before the playoffs?
I never want them to lose. Um,
Right.
I can get what you're saying, like, yeah, maybe it resets you and maybe it, whatever,
grounds you.
but I just
Yeah,
win, 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 win.
I like
they've
that.
not. Am I right in understanding they've not lost at home this year?
They have not lost at home.
No.
They
So yeah.
actually, I think they have an 11 game home win streak that goes back to last year. So
That's crazy.
they haven't
It's
lost. They
always been a
haven't
tough
lost.
place to play. I mean, it's loud.
It's a tough place to play for sure. We were real loud last week. Actually, there were a lot of. It kind of upsets me because the season ticket holders, a lot of them sold their tickets last week because there were a lot of Packers fans.
There were.
The Go Pack Go was super loud, and I just hated it.
You could hear it on the broadcast even. It was like, oh my
Uh,
God, that's way too loud.
if you use the NFL ticket exchange, you can't screen it. It just is what it
No.
is. I just don't sell my tickets. We have 4 of them, and my wife and my daughter and son go to every game with me. So we're just always there, and that's what it is. We're always
Yeah,
there.
and the Packers fans and
So
Steelers fans travel big time,
yeah,
and also their weather sucks. So they come, but in Florida they have nice weather. They don't have to come to Denver, to escape the
Yeah, for
yeah,
weather.
the yeah.
So I don't think that'll be a problem. I think there'll be plenty of Jags fans that do come out, but because it's Christmas and everything else, I think even Simon, the captain here, would love to go to this game, but it's just
I
way
would.
to
I would
Christmas.
love to go, but I'm stuck here in Southampton in England
Yeah,
for the duration. So,
yeah,
never mind.
yeah. I think it'll be mostly orange in that stadium, so.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and then the odd Jags fan, hopefully there'll be enough of them that make some sort of a difference, but it won't make a noise difference, that's for sure. Not in that stadium. But I just think that you're probably very thrilled about Bo. I mean, do you think maybe he came out shooting like he did just because he was older? He had that couple extra years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that helps, like when you play that many college games, and especially in those conferences, he
Hmm.
played at Auburn and then he played at Oregon. That's a lot of really high level competition. And so I think he came out ready. I mean, the NFL is a different level, right? But I think he came out ready and um, I think Sean Payton saw something in him, and I think it was the right choice. It's been great so far. He's not always perfect, but man, he makes the games exciting,
Boy.
and he can run, he can throw. Seems like a good guy. So yeah, we're thrilled with him. My,
You must be pleased with Sean Payton as well, though, because I mean, surely that the head coach relationship between the head coach and the quarterback is key for a successful season. So, I mean,
yeah,
what are your thoughts on Sean Payton?
yeah, I like Sean Payton, and you can see the relationship between him and Bo versus him and Russell Wilson. Him and Russell
Oh
Wilson,
man.
like he'd get in his face, and Russ would kind of like, I don't know, he just didn't have that same fire. If Sean gets in Bo's face, Bo kind of gets back in his own. He kind of yells back at him. I think they have a mutual respect, which is key in this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember they had a little, like in the first season, it was all over the news here, that they had this little sideline scuffle sort of thing. And everybody was like, that's great that he gives Sean Payton back that, and same thing happened this year with Trevor and Liam, like
Oh,
Liam
really?
was saying something and Trevor was like waving him off. And, I think that's good because you have to push back and get that respect, going. And I think that Bo and Sean, I think he picked a quarterback that was like just perfect.
Or like, he's the fifth best quarterback from last year or whatever. I don't think so, man. I think he's the number one. As far as stats go, as far as wins go, he's number one. So
Well,
pretty
you're only
awesome.
as good as the people around you and how you can perform in that city and with those people, right? And if it's a good fit from the day one, it's a good fit. And Trevor, unfortunately, had a horrible situation to go into his first year, with Urban Meyer and all that kind of stuff. And then, Doug, I actually liked Doug Peterson as a coach or as but just
yeah,
probably because I remember him with Kansas City and the Eagles and everything. But it just wasn't the best fit for Jacksonville. And there was some other guys around, especially his offensive coordinator that was, I mean, he just called the weirdest place. So now that they're all gone, I think Jacksonville's actually finally benefiting from some of the good coaching that can go on. And Liam's super young, but I think he's got a good future in front of him.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jags are definitely on their way up. That's for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel about Evan Ingram, our buddy?
Um, Mixed feelings, right? Like when we signed him, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome." And I know he had kind of a down year before, but I was like, he's got so much potential and he's shown so much, and he can do it. And there's flashes of it, right? But it's just not consistent right now. And so it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes you're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and sometimes you're like, "Oh, he needs to do more." So I think our tight end position has been something that we've struggled with for years. And I was hoping he would be it, and maybe he still will be, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might just need some time to kind of settle into what's around him. I think was it last game or the game before that he had a pretty good game, but
It was last game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for him to break out. I mean, he's a good guy. He was a good, well liked at Jacksonville. Everybody was gonna miss him, but yeah, tight end, that's a tough position to get.
Yeah,
You got
he
to
had a
get.
tough. He had a bit of injury, and he wasn't so good the previous year. But then again, the whole Jags team didn't have a good year. So, you
Four
know,
wins.
four
Yeah.
wins. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not so good, but it'll be good when he finally has that breakout time. And then also there's another swap. Tim Patrick is in Jacksonville,
Oh
and
yeah.
he again, his first, I don't even know how long it
he's
was.
only just
He's only just started to warm up.
starting to shine. Yeah,
He was one of our favorites. We loved Tim Patrick. I was
Yeah.
really sad when we let him go. Yeah, it's a bummer. But he's great, great guy too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he can kind of burst out. The last couple of weeks, he's done good, and it seems like that the fan base is warming up to him and things like that. So there's a little bit of history, there, and I know that Denver has a little sore spot about Jacksonville for in the past playoff situations, particularly
Just
in
just the
'96
one,
when.
really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the AFC champion, or not the championship, but they came into Denver, and Denver's like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, we got this, and then it's like Jacksonville wins, and yeah, so I think Denver doesn't really take Jacksonville lightly because they can do it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that was a hard game. I was a junior in high school,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, we've got this game. It's the Jags. We're gonna win this
it's a
game,
new team.
And then you guys beat us, and that actually, I mean, it might have stopped a three-peat, right? Because we won the next two Super Bowls, and
Hmm.
we probably could have won that year too. So I don't know. It was a bummer, but
Yeah.
we got you guys the next year. My mom though, so my mom is from Houston, and
Oh.
she is a huge Texans fan. So
Oh.
so she was like, I need the Broncos to win this week. Like
Ah,
she's a Broncos fan this weekend for sure. She's a big
I
Texans fan.
bet.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, that you said any given Sunday, and I was thinking, okay, can we put that out in the universe that this Sunday the Raiders will beat the Texans?
That's that's unlikely.
I
That's
know,
unlikely.
no, but hey, it can happen, right?
Yeah, it can.
They're
It
just so
can.
pathetic. It's like it'd be
They've
great
got
if they
the,
could
the
get it
Raiders have
together.
two wins this year, and one of them is against the Patriots. So, you
It
know,
could
it,
happen.
it could.
mm.
Let's put it out there, not for your poor mother. I
Yeah.
mean, she's probably a
For
really
the
good woman.
Jags. Yeah, I said earlier that irrespective of how the Jaguars do this year, I just want them to finish ahead of the Texans, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy, with any result, just as long as they finish ahead of the Texans.
Yeah. You guys have a tough division this year, and with the
Yeah,
Colts. Bummer for them with their quarterback going down because it was a three-way go for you in your
yeah,
division.
it
So
was. Yeah,
Yeah, for once in the AFC South's life, right? It was like, yay, this division's looking good, and then
that's okay.
yeah,
They got Philip Rivers now, haven't they?
yeah, yeah, your old
that was
buddy.
amazing. That was an amazing thing he did last week. I mean, his numbers weren't great, but he went out there and his footwork looked a little choppy, but he got it done, and they almost won the game, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
It's
yeah,
crazy going into Seattle and almost winning. It's like,
Yeah,
for the last night Monday night game, I was like, well, Seattle almost got beat by Philip Rivers, so maybe they won't do too well. But that was an awesome game. So it's like if you can go into Seattle and make a showing for yourself at 44,
yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
that's something.
And I think that they're gonna. The word is that they're keeping him for, I guess, the rest of the season, but they're only paying him like, what was it, $200,000 for 4 games or something. So it's like,
Oh, I don't
wow.
know.
Yeah, I,
Really?
I I read that yesterday. I was like, oh my God, that's really not very much money, but I suppose he's enjoying what he's doing. He's
You'd probably do it for free. You probably would.
to get away from
Yeah.
11 kids or something.
He's
Yeah,
having fun. What's crazy to me is he's a finalist for the Hall of Fame this year,
I
and so
Oh
now
know.
yeah,
that
that's
gets
gone.
set back
Yeah,
5 years.
yeah,
So he
Must have been
won't.
really
No,
important for him because that's a lot to give up.
yeah,
unless
that's
somebody
crazy.
gave them the nudge to say, well, actually, don't worry, you're not going to get it this year. So
Well, you never
So,
know. I mean, Jacksonville's still waiting for their second Hall of Famer. So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a dire situation. I mean, I think
Still
Fred
waiting for the
Taylor
Super
really
Bowl
needs to get
too.
in.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Who do you guys have? Just Baselli?
just
yeah. Just
Baselli.
Tony Pacelli. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, from Boulder. Tony Baselli's from Boulder. So
Oh, is he?
he's so important in Jacksonville now. He and Mark Brunell, they own all the Whataburger franchises there because
Oh,
Tony Baselli's family in Boulder was a McDonald's franchise. They owned some McDonald's franchises, so it's kind of in his blood. So they own all the Whataburger ones, and now, of course, he's vice president of football operations, which is
Yeah. And
super
I think
cool.
again that's made a difference. That's made a difference with the success of the team. You've got everybody happy at the on the top tier,
Hmm.
and it's all filtering down. So
Yeah.
yeah, means a
Yeah,
lot. Means
Baselli's he's the only one, but Fred Taylor, he's been up three times now, I think. And I mean, he needs to be in there. I mean, one Hall of Famer, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
the
I know
Broncos
they're a
were
newer
kind of that
team.
way for a long time. Like we didn't have the Hall of Famers that we deserved for a long time, and then now we've kind of had a run on them. But it was the same way. I don't know. Sometimes those they just don't get in for whatever reason.
I think it's just the thing about what I was saying earlier is some teams in the league just don't get the respect. And I think that Jacksonville and Denver are two of them. And, Denver's finally getting their due, but what's it taken 8 Super Bowls, and
Yeah,
of course, Jacksonville has zero, and maybe they just need about 3 or 4 Super Bowls, and then we'll have some Hall of Famers coming up, and they'll say, "Oh, there's been some good players in Jacksonville. Let's put them in
yeah,
there."
it's just
So
putting
yeah.
them on the radar, isn't it? Yeah.
you were talking about Buffalo. Do you think that they're going to make a run for it then and knock New England down a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, they for sure have, in my opinion, the best quarterback that is kind of in it right now.
Mm.
Um, Josh Allen, he deserves a Super Bowl win, and he's had to go against Mahomes, and he's had to go against Lamar Jackson, and all those guys. But with those guys out of it, and Lamar Jackson's not out of it yet, but um, this is Josh Allen's best chance for sure this year.
So like if the Broncos are ever out of it, are you kind of hoping that, the Bills would do it? I know
No,
you're
I
not
mean
supposed to
I
say
don't.
things like this.
Josh Allen, he went to the University of Wyoming, which is only about 50 miles from my house.
Right.
The Broncos could have drafted him.
Yes.
We passed up on him, and that's Elway says that's his biggest mistake he ever made was passing up Josh Allen.
Mhm.
Um, and he just seems like a good dude. He just seems like just a good guy, and I'm rooting for him
Yeah.
as long as the
Yeah.
Broncos aren't
Does a
there.
lot of work for
Yes,
charities,
as long as
doesn't
the
he?
Broncos are out,
Yeah,
if the
as
Broncos
long
are
as the
out, you
Broncos
can
are
root
out.
for Josh Allen. No, he
Yeah,
does do some charity work, and I mean, the thing that I like about Josh Allen is just the way that he's embraced the city and the way they've embraced him. Because,
yeah,
I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, I mean, we both live in the Denver area. We know how the quarterbacks tend to stay, or just the players tend to stay and become part of the community. Peyton Manning being one of them, raising his
yeah.
kids here. Denver's the kind of city they would stay in. Buffalo may not be the kind of city people embrace and stay in. And I think it's amazing how he's really made a difference in that community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He, it's pretty cool for them.
Bills Mafia.
You don't
And what
like them.
what is it?
You,
Either they're squirting each other with mustard and ketchup, or they're breaking tables, or both. I mean, it's way over my head. You know.
the mustard and ketchup, he's part of the Pro Football Ultimate Fan Association.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
They got a big tailgate up there, and I haven't been up there to see it in person, but it looks crazy. They are crazy up there, but they do a lot of good things. You like Bill's Mafia when they play another team and something bad happens or whatever, they'll like go in and they'll support the opposing team's charities and raise a bunch of money
Oh,
for
that's
them.
good.
So
Good.
they're pretty cool.
they did that for Baltimore. I can't remember what the occasion was, but it was like 4 or 5 years ago, and they got a bunch of charity raised for Baltimore when something was happening there. And I
Yeah.
mean, I think you have to be tough to be a Buffalo fan. I mean, like the weather's tough and they have those four Super Bowls, four in a row. I mean, that's just got to be, they're like they were a laughing stock and they still have that over their heads. So I think you're right. They need to get to a Super Bowl and just win it once and for all, just to shut everybody up.
Yeah, that fan base deserves it. I always feel for some of those fan bases that that get so close, or opposite, like the Lions, who have just been horrible forever, and now they're finally good, but they still are. They just the fan bases that don't get that satisfaction from winning a Super Bowl. I always feel horrible for them.
Vikings are another one. I mean, when I was a kid, Vikings were really good, and they had Fran Tarkenton and everything, but they still couldn't. They got in the Super Bowls, couldn't win them. So
Yeah,
they're another fan base and let's not even talk about Cleveland.
yeah, and Cleveland. And those especially those teams that have been around since the 60s, right? Like the Jags too, like you feel bad for them, but they've only been around since the late 90s. Some of those
Yeah.
teams have been around since the 1960s and
Or
still haven't
longer, like the
won.
Browns.
Well, look at the
Yeah,
Jets. I mean, they've been around forever.
yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. And as you know, going and meeting all the fans, like we've, met a lot of fans and stuff too. And it's like, these are good people, I mean, they may root for a team that you hate, but they are good people and they totally deserve, a little bit of victory just to kind of feel what that feels like. Like in the case of the Browns and the Jets, they've never even felt that. And so, uh, these teams deserve that. And the Jags being newer, but I think it's time. I think it's time for the Jags. I mean, everything needs to come together.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel for the fans. So like when I was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Ford sent my family to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And we went to it was the Chiefs Niners Super Bowl in was that Super Bowl 54.
Okay.
And so I was there with a Chiefs fan. Her name is a puppet lady. She's got these puppets that go on her hands and sweetest lady. But the Niners were winning that game the whole time. And I was like, I was so happy because I wanted the Chiefs to lose, just being a Broncos fan. And so I was kind of rooting against her. But then I saw how like she was almost devastated because the Niners looked like they were going to win that game. And then the Chiefs started coming back. The Chiefs started coming back. And pretty soon she's all just so excited. And it was, even though I, dislike the Chiefs and the Raiders so much, being able to see her win, have her team win that game, it was a pretty cool situation for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. The captain has a lot of people that follow that are not Jags fans, just because he kind of does some crazy stuff. He's kind of a no offense, Captain here, but you're kind of a weird guy. And so
I just have some fun. Yeah.
there's so many people that go, well, Saints fans here, but I'm really rooting for you guys this weekend. And we actually gained a lot of Buffalo followers when during that massacre last year when
Uh,
when on Monday Night Football against Buffalo. And there's a lot of people that are like, I really hope that your team wins this weekend, or that you can go to the playoffs, or that you can go to the. So sometimes it is just about the other people, because like a
It is.
fan, or you're like, oh, I feel for this person. And it's not always just about the team that you like. A lot of times if you like a team, it's because of the fans. Fans are
yeah.
important. That's why we're
Yeah.
here. It's like,
To share the passion, irrespective of what team you follow. I mean, you're all passionate people following your team, and that's what we've all got in common. So
yeah. And our
we can all
message is
relate
just
to each other.
that all fans count. You don't have to be a certain type of fan. You don't have to be a super fan. You don't have to dress up. You can just wear a jersey, or you can just wear street clothes to a game, and you're still a fan and you're still important. And that's
Yeah.
that's our
That's important.
message to
That's
people.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We all count.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And well, I hope it's a good game, and I hope that
Yeah.
there's some good matchups. I'm a little afraid of, like I said, the pass rush, and that
I'm
it's
not so. I mean, the thing that worries me most of all is the secondary. PS2 and crew. That's what worries me most of all. So
yeah. Trevor does
we
have a
will
way
see.
of.
We will see. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I really
The Jags may surprise us all. So
They may. They may.
Yeah, I really hope so. But
They're a good
you'll have
team.
a good tailgate, so
Yeah, we will.
that'll
We
be a great thing.
we always win the tailgate, that's for sure.
Yes, that's right. You can always win there, even if your team isn't doing so well. We don't want
Playoffs are going to be
Everybody
great
is.
this year.
yeah, playoffs are going to be
Unless
fun.
the Texans get in, and then it's not going to be so great.
Don't tell your mom.
Oh,
I'm
she
sure she's
she
very
wants
sweet.
it so bad. I mean, what would be best is if the Texans and the Broncos played, I could take her to a playoff game. That would be fun for us,
That would
as long
be.
as the Broncos won.
And then you probably have a lot of people rooting for the Texans in that case since they haven't had a Super Bowl either. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of neutrals would be rooting for the Texans for her
I
team.
know
Oh,
that everybody's singing the praises of the Texans, but honestly, they're overrated, and I don't believe that they're good as people think they are.
yeah.
So, so, but
And
hey,
And as
I've
Jags
said that,
fans, that there's a vendetta against them because of Aziz Al-Shaair and his dirty
yeah,
hit.
I'm going to get my little voodoo doll out, start sticking pins in him.
Don't let your mom see that.
I will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we appreciate your taking the time.
Yeah,
It's
thank
really
you.
great. But the
Yeah.
Jags, this week's going to be a nail biter. So we'll see what happens.
Any
Well,
given
definitely
Sunday.
come this Sunday, but stop by any week.
Yeah, great. I love what you guys do. And I love the fire truck. You're
Yeah.
probably so used to getting pictures. Everybody wants to pose by it all the time.
Yeah. That's all I do the entire time is take pictures with people for about 4 hours.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
pretty fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Have you ever is there any place, I don't know if you have like an actual website where you like display like a gallery of everybody that's photographed with you or if you thought about doing
No,
that? Because that's crazy. That's so many pictures.
no, I haven't done anything like that. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever we are talking to people, when we finish up, rather than, on my videos, I'm always a very British way of saying goodbye is by saying cheerio. So I always ask everybody to basically give me their best English impression of saying goodbye to me by saying cheerio. And what we're going to do is at the end of the season, we're going to compile them all together. So that should be a bit of fun. So,
All
I
right.
mean, so I'll wrap it
My,
up by just saying cheerio.
all right. My wife always makes fun of my British impressions, but cheerio.
There you go. No, that's okay. That's good.
Yes. Cheerio.
Yes. Cheerio. Thank you. Thank you. It's been nice talking to you.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Nice to meet you. And let's hope for
Have
a
a good
good one.
game on Sunday. Have a good game,
Yeah.
but
Good luck to
not
you.
too good.